How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Tea Time with the Bearded Wonder. This week, let's talk about what to do if you get stuck in a rut with your fitness. And by stuck in a rut, I mean you plateau, you hit a wall, you feel like you're on repeat on everything. It's a very common thing. It's a very understandable thing. You work very hard, then you just kind of plateau because things aren't changing. And there's a lot of different factors that go into that. But the first step in figuring out what to do to help it and to fix it is to first notice it. Are you hitting your goals? Now, obviously, I know most long-term goals, when you set your short-term goals, like I've said in previous videos, you're gonna see some slowdown from the beginning to middle to the end. It's when you see those slowdowns that you don't make drastic changes immediately. You don't have to make those changes like, I didn't make my goal this week. But if you do it 2-3 weeks in a row where you're like, man, I'm like right there at my goal, but I'm not getting it, what's going on? Seeing the feeling aspect, especially like if you start a new program, you feel amazing. You're like, man, that was a great workout. I crushed it. It's great. And that goes on for some time. And then all of a sudden you're just like, man, it's not feeling the same. I feel like I'm going through the motions. I feel like I'm just on repeat. When you start feeling those kind of ways, that's where you have to reevaluate. And by reevaluate, I mean reevaluate your program. If you look at your program and you're like, man, I keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and it's not getting you the results you want, maybe make some tweaks. Maybe make some changes. Instead of working out 5 days a week, cut it down to 3 days with 2 active rest days in between in the week, and then 2 rest days, or however you want to do it. Everybody's got a different plan. Everybody's got a different program. But changing up your workout patterns, changing up the intensities, making those small changes where you're like, I keep doing the same weight, and it keeps feeling like I'm doing the work. Because you can feel the same amount of effort from 20 pounds as you can 50 pounds. That's an over-exaggeration, but still, you can get the same amount of work and effort from different weights. It's how many sets you do, it's how many reps you do. Maybe that's where you need to make the change. Reevaluate where you're trying to go and where you're currently at and how you're currently feeling. Last couple of weeks, I've been talking about how you feel. Talking about rest days, everything like that. But that's the biggest thing, is trying to determine how you feel, and what you can make different. If you don't know what to do different, perfectly understandable. Take your workout and what you're doing currently and increase the difficulty on different things. Increase the weight, increase the reps, increase the sets. Play with it. Go back and forth. Instead of doing 3 sets of 10, do 5 sets of 5 with a lot heavier of a weight. And try and see if that makes a difference in how you feel as you're working out. Because if it's making a difference, there you go. There's your answer. But if it's still not making a difference, what can you do to change things up? Is it your nutrition? Is it your sleeping? Is it outside of the gym? Is it the amount of effort you're putting into the gym? Like I said, there's so many different options of what could be causing the plateau, but the biggest thing is taking your program, taking your goals, and reevaluating where you're at. If you're not making the progress you want to make, what can you do to change it? And you have plenty of options to try and change things up. My biggest thing that I say, especially for myself, is if I go through an entire week and I'm like, man, those were good workouts, but they're not, I just don't feel the same. Like, it doesn't feel the same as it did when I first started the program. I bumped the weights up. That's the number one thing is if you're stuck in a rut where you're doing the same weight over and over, yeah, you're still doing some work and you're still working towards your goals. But if it's not progressing the way you want, bump those weights up. Get those weights up. That's the number one thing I always say is that's the first step, is always try and find what you can do, and it's usually increase the intensity, increase the weights. If you're nervous about increasing the rates, do more reps. Do an extra set. Instead of 3, do 4 sets. Instead of 10 reps, do 12 reps. Still feels easy? Add an extra set. Still feels easy? That's when you got to increase the weights. Because you are getting stronger and you are progressing. And that's another way to tell how you're progressing with your goals is, are these weights getting easier? Because if they're not getting easier, that's a whole nother topic that we'll have to go over. But that's a whole nother topic where you're having to reevaluate the entire program if the weights aren't getting easier. Because no matter what, the first step and the heaviest step is the step into the gym. If you're getting into the gym and you're getting in some work, you are doing what you set out to do. You are working towards your goals and you are crushing it just by showing up and working out and doing something. Something is always better than nothing. But if you want to change your plan, if you want to change your program, if you want to accelerate and progress linearly, that's the biggest thing I would say, is look at your program and say, hey, what can I increase? What can I decrease? What other exercises can I change out that would help me more? That's always the first step, is look at it, say, okay, I'm doing this. It's not giving me the same results. Let's make some changes. But as long as you're showing up and you're coming, you're still going to keep working towards those goals. Well, let's work together to help get you to that next step and increase that intensity. So, obligatory Twitch and Twitter promos. Twitter is at beardedwonderfit right here on the screen. I'm going to be posting live, or not live, but I'm going to be posting free workouts on there. Go check them out. See if you want to add it in, make it something different. As well as you can see when I go live on Twitch. And Twitch is twitch.tv/beardedwonderfitness. Streaming a lot of games. Been streaming a lot of Pokemon. But you'll also see a lot of the highlights and replays and everything else on here on YouTube. So, to recap, first of all, don't let a plateau be a hindrance. Look at it as an opportunity to grow and evolve. You can't grow without a little bit of adversity. So take that program, look at it, see what you can change, increase that intensity, and we'll get towards your goals. I'll see you all in the next video.